everybody. Uh, just to begin with the session, I'll just be talking about the required request law, understanding it, and have no commercial interest. Organ donation, as you all know, there is a huge gap between demand and supply. There are several reasons for the shortage of the organs. Perhaps the most common reason being that people are not are hesitant to donate their organs. There are other reasons as well. For example, the wishes to donate his or her organs may not be known by those who have to actually do the act. In other cases, the physicians are also they may neglect to inquire the family members whether they would consent to donating organs when their loved one dies. It is the duty of media, voluntary agency, medical professionals, and government. All four have to work together to patch up the gap between demand and supply. And it is here where the required request law comes into picture. The required request or routine inquiry of the next of the kin of a potential donor was first introduced as a state law in US as early as 1990. It provides for a hospital that failed to adopt required request policies to be denied support from healthcare funding agencies. After the introduction of this law, no major change in organ procurement was observed there. So now, what the required request law in present form is here. The required request law refers to a law that mandates hospital personnel, be a medical or a paramedical person, to discuss with the relatives of the deceased patient regarding the possibility of an anatomical gift. Yes, it does exist in India as an amendment in the original law of Human Organ Transplant Act 1994 as a Transplantation of Human Organ Act 2011. Besides, it does exist in many other developed countries also, where the doctor or the paramedical personnel is obliged to ask the next of the kin if they are interested in donating organs of their brain dead relatives. After the introduction of the required request law, a public attitude survey indicated there is a positive attitude of the people towards eye donation. After this survey, Estonia and elevating the critical shortage of the transplantable organs. I am talking about the organs because all the organs which are being donated are included into this law. We as an eye donation activists have made a lot of efforts for the required request law. Basically, in the event of the death which is being happening in the hospital, it is the eye donation which is accepted first by the donors. While issuing the death certificate from the hospital, it should be incorporated in the death certificate. It should be made mandatory for the hospital authorities to make a request for eye donation from the next of the deceased. For this purpose, the signature of the next of the kin of the deceased should be included at the bottom of the certificate. Above his or her signature, a sentence should be included clearly mentioning or stating as follows that I so-and-so, son, daughter of so-and-so, is willing or not willing to donate the eyes or corneas of mine. Proposal for uniform required request law procedures have received widespread acceptance as a means of increasing the supply of organs and tissues available for transplant, both in quantity and quality. The adoption of such procedures right there, as well as by new hospital accreditation system. Although in this required request law there are many concerns which are to be addressed, while increased availability of the organs and tissues may be beneficial or short-term, may be beneficial in short term, but difficult moral, clinical and legal issues are also there which need to be addressed at this point of time. In particular, a policy of required request creates conflict of interest at the clinical, psychological and socio-economic level that produce considerable disvalue at this point of time. This process requires the attending physician to begin switching loyalty of the patient to potential donor as well as in caring of the potential donor families. While these concerns might indeed be genuine in the cases of other organs which are taken up in brain dead individual, it is irrelevant in eye donation as a gentle request to donate eyes in brain dead patient will involve a removal of the life support system and until 4 to 6 hours after the death. So, just to conclude, the required request law is a powerful tool for enhancing tissue procurement if combined with a change in public and physicians' attitude towards organ donation. Besides, this should narrow the gap between demand and supply of the organs that includes cornea also, which at times is huge.